What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you our Week 8 Team Builder for Fella. Our Week 7 match hasn't happened yet, so I'm not gonna talk too much on it because I can't say anything about a match that hasn't happened yet. So here we are. Anyway, sorry about that. My voice is a little bit rough, but anyway, this week, for Week 8, we take on Wes Nasty and the E-City Electrics. Now, Wes hasn't had all that great of a season so far. He's actually had a pretty rough season. He played very well last season. He just hasn't been, I guess he just hasn't been, himself this season. Or maybe it's just his team, I don't know. But I think he has a really, really decent team, and it's going to be a really, really tough match. His team's kind of scary, so I don't know, we'll see how things go. I'm actually kind of nervous about this one, but again, as long as we can keep winning, we have a good chance of still potentially making the playoffs. So let's just keep going into each match with a positive mindset, and we'll try to come out victorious. So this week, again, we're taking him on, and his team includes Jirachi, Mega Gallade, Blissey, Weezing, Hitmontop, Rotom Fan, Typhlosion, Feraligatr, Seismitoad, Cradily, Frogadier, and Crocodile. Crocodile was actually franchised by him, so that gives me a little bit of an extra scare because that means he's comfortable with Crocodile. So that's going to be really, really, really tough to deal with because any mon that someone's comfortable with using is going to be something that's going to be truly terrifying to deal with. So with that, here's our team. We're gonna show you what I'm gonna go with, and the first mon I'm bringing is the newest mon on the squad. We used our last free agency trade during week 6 to drop our Chestnut for our newest member, Hydrangea the Shaman. I know I used to call it Sanic in the PFC, but I decided a new name was necessary because Sanic just doesn't give this thing a proper justice. Anyway, so we're rocking an Assault Vest Shaman here with Natural Cure, Seed Flare, Psychic, Earth Power, and Hidden Power Ice. With this move set, we do a lot of work to Wes's team. The Seed Flare is going to absolutely decimate the Crocodile, which is kind of the whole purpose I brought it for. It will also do amazing damage to the Feraligatr, and it will completely decimate the Seismitoad, which obviously is 4 times weak to it. The Psychic is going to be there for the Weezing, because Weezing won't appreciate any special hits, and a Psychic sure as hell is special to me. Also, the Hitmontop won't be a big fan of it unless he's running something like Assault Vested Hitmontop, and at the end of the day, we can still handle that. Not too worried about it. We have the Earth Power. Earth Power is there for the Jirachi, also there for the Typhlosion. Those two can potentially be switch-ins to our Hydrangea, and I kind of would like to potentially catch them on those switch-ins and do some massive, massive damage. I don't believe that Typhlosion can switch into me safely? I don't think. Not too safely. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not very bulky, so any hit it takes is going to do a lot of damage if it tries to switch into my Shaman. So I can definitely still hit it hard after that. I actually want to run one quick calc. You're going to see YouTube is going to pop up there for a second. I have a bunch of videos up that I'm trying to watch at the current time, but I need to get my damage calcs up and running. I have some curiosities that I need to address. So we are rocking, I'll put my set in here quick because I'm talking about the last move. We got Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice is there for the Rotom Fan. It's also there for the Cradily, and a secondary option, obviously, for the Crocodile. Shaman's moveset is very, very nice this week, as we do have a lot of options to go with. And I feel like that those options are going to be really, really useful against a lot of his team. The Blissey also could be a switch-in, but at the same time, if its special defense gets dropped by Seed Flare, if we can actually get that special defense drop, that's pretty much GG right there. We can then just proceed to shit on its life. Actually going to run that calc to Blissey. B-L-I-S-S-E-Y. Yeah, so if he runs a typical bold, max defense, max HP variant, we would do 19 to 22% with a Seed Flare. And if he goes to -2 SPDEF, we would then do like 38 to 45, which isn't great damage, but it's still a lot more damage than we normally would be doing, so that's kind of cool. But let's look at Typhlosion. Typhlosion is the one we're here for. NU, let's go. Let's say he's Scarfed. Scarfed Eruption only does 80 to 95% to an AR spread of AV Shaman. And an Earth Power, let's give you the Earth Power, does 69 to 82%. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, if he switches into, say, a Psychic, takes about 34%, we can just click Earth Power. We know we're going to live in Eruption, which is the most damaging move that he could potentially hit us with, and finish him off right back with an Earth Power, and that's fantastic to know. It sucks because that would take our Shaman down really, really, really low, but being able to take out the Typhlosion, which would be a huge, huge, huge threat otherwise, earlier on would be really, really nice. Talking about our investment, we have 72 HP to keep us at an odd number. 4 to defense, max special attack with a modest nature, so we can hit as hard as possible. And then we have 180 speed EVs. Those speed EVs are important because that allows us to outspeed a max speed Jolly for Alligator. So as long as he doesn't have a Dragon Dance up, if we can get into a situation where we can force them to attack, we can switch Shaman into an attack, like take a Waterfall or something, outspeed the next turn, and blow it away with a modest Seed Flare. So that is going to be our Shaman. Next up, we have Boy the Jolteon. I am falling in love with Quick Feet Jolteon. I've absolutely fallen in love with Quick Feet fucking Jolteon. This fucking Mon, man. I'm telling you right now, this Mon is absolutely stellar. It's basically, all I'm taking is 1/8 of my HP per turn. 1/8, that's it. 1/8 of my HP per turn. For what? All that's happening when I take that 1/8 of my HP is I'm going to be faster than my opponent's entire team, which is pretty much the whole purpose of this Jolteon set. Because with 132 speed EVs, we reach 329, which is 1 point faster than base 100. So even if his base 100s like Typhlosion and Jirachi are, even if they're choice Scarfed, they will not have a chance to outspeed my Jolteon once it's burned. We put 120 into our HP so that we have an odd number, and it just gives us a little bit of extra bulk just in case. I feel like that might come in handy at some point. We have 4 into our special defense, which again is just kind of there. And obviously we're able to run a modest nature this week, which is even better with Jolteon because my opponent only has 2 ground types. Has 2 ground types, and that helps explain our moveset a little bit. We have Volt Switch and Thunderbolt, 2 staple moves. Anytime I bring Jolteon, Volt Switch and Thunderbolt are going to be there 100% of the time, just because it wouldn't be a Jolteon without them, in all honesty. Volt Switch and Thunderbolt are just too important not to have. It allows us to get good, solid momentum on my opponents. and that momentum is key a lot of times. If I can get a volt switch off and freely just, if I can predict a switch, get a volt switch off, boom, I now have the ability to bring in whatever counters what he brought in immediately and be good to go. So that's the whole concept between those moves. Hidden Power Grass, because he has a Seismitoad, and Seismitoad is like switching to this thing every time. So HP Grass is there so that we can take out the Seismitoad. It'll also hit the Crocodile, and we will also have the Shadow Ball, which will allow us to hit the Jirachi super effectively, and the Mega Gallade super effectively, which is actually kind of important. And I'm actually looking this up right now. I want to make sure, I want to see something. Alright, so the way I feel like things might go down is, a lot of times if I put Jolteon in front of something in my opponent's team, say I put it in front of the Feraligatr, or if I put it in front of the Frogadier, you know, they might predict me to go for a Volt Switch. Alright, so if they go out into Crocodile, say I go for the Shadow Ball, predicting my opponent to switch. Shadow Ball will do 22 to 26%. And then Hidden Power Grass will do 67 to 80%. That is kind of decent. I like the look of that. I like it. I mean, I would probably also potentially just go for the HP Grass. That actually provides me with a good option, because if I can go in front of something like the Feraligatr or the Seismitoad, I can just click HP Grass freely. The Seismitoad will die to it. If it does that much to a Crocodile, it'll do way more than that to a Seismitoad. So that allows us the option to that allows us a lot of options. I kind of like that. So yeah, that's gonna be our Jolteon set. It's pretty simple, pretty standard, but extremely useful. Next up, we have Tucson the Terrakion rocking a Choice Scarf. We have the artificial Choice Scarf and the actual Choice Scarf rocking on the same team. Tucson the Terrakion here is rocking 64 HP, 252 attack, and 192 speed with a Jolly Nature. With that speed, we outspeed all of his base 100s. So right here between Jolteon and Terrakion, we outspeed Wes's entire team, which is absolutely fantastic. Nothing on his team can outspeed these two Mons, and we can just go out and safely click whatever move we want and comfortably feel like we're in control. We can hold on to the momentum for as long as we want. Close combat is there because my opponent has a Blissey. That's the entire reason we brought Terrakion this week, is because my opponent has Blissey. Blissey is not going to take a close combat in any universe. There's no way in hell that, from a Terrakion especially, that a Blissey would take a close combat. Not a chance. If somebody tries to tell me that a Blissey will take a close combat, you're lying. So yeah, let's leave it at that. It's very simple. But close combat will also actually destroy, and I'm being very literal in saying that, destroy the Credilli, and I believe even with the Intimidate, close combat has a very good chance of OHKOing the Crocodile. So no matter what happens, this thing will outspeed anything and hit it with a close combat really hard. If I don't want to use close combat, I can always go for, say, Stone Edge on things like the Rotom Fan or the Typhlosion. Mainly there for the Typhlosion, but also there for the Rotom Fan, because if I just packed Earthquake, I thought about this for a few minutes, if I only packed Earthquake, then Rotom Fan would just wall me. You could bring a physically defensive Rotom Fan and just shut me down. And I don't like the idea of that. So I am just going to go ahead and run this Stone Edge and blow the Rotom Fan out of the water. It'll also, yeah, it'll pretty much just blow them both away, which is kind of nice. Earthquake is there as a secondary option for Typhlosion. It's also there because my opponent has a Jirachi, and Jirachi is not going to like an Earthquake. So that's the simplest way of putting it. Earthquake will hit the Jirachi super hard, and again, it cannot outspeed us, so we're free to just click Earthquake in front of it, and yeah, potentially kill it. Or 2-hit KO it. Lastly, we are packing the Zen Headbutt. It gives us an option for the Weezing. I know it's not going to do all that much to the Weezing. Pretty sure it doesn't do too much to the Weezing. Zen Headbutt only does about 33 to 39%, but we have a chance to flinch as well, and it's something. You know, if we can get the Weezing down low enough, we can come in with Terrakion and hit it with the Zen Headbutt and just take it out. Stone Edge also does a decent amount to it, but not as much as Zen Headbutt, so Zen Headbutt's a better option. Those couple percentage points really matter in the long run of a battle. So Zen Headbutt is more so there though for the Hitmontop. Obviously, if I'm not intimidated, I can come in on the Hitmontop with Terrakion, and I can hit that thing with a Zen Headbutt, and it is not going to appreciate it one bit. It is not going to appreciate anything that is going on with it. Even if it's fully defensive, Zen Headbutt will still has a chance to 2-hit KO, has a minimal chance. Which is really nice. The cool part about it is he can't OHKO me with close combat. Even if we didn't have HP investment, it would still do maximum of like 99% if he runs a defensive build, which I feel like he will. But he wouldn't be able to OHKO us with close combat, so that's kind of nice, and we would be able to do some good damage to him. So that's going to be our Terrakion this week. Very good set. I'm looking forward to it. Also, looking at the potential options as well with Terrakion, we might be able to potentially get a Justified boost if he runs Knockoff and just Mega Gallade. If we can set up the right situation, we could potentially get a Justified boost, and that would be just as good as having a Scarf. Sometimes, just as good as having a Scarf. Actually, that's a terrible idea. Why am I even thinking about that? Because if I go into Terrakion and get Knockoff, then I won't have my Scarf, and I want to be the Mega Gallade. Well then, fuck. Never mind. But yeah, that's going to be it for our Terrakion. Ignore everything I just said in the past few minutes because it was just absolute bullshit. Next we have Tony Stark, our Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor is just too good of a mon not to bring. 248 HP, 252 attack, Adamant Nature, and 8 into our special defense. You guys know me. I like to hit hard, hit fast. Not hit hard, hit fast, but hit hard and hit often. And that's pretty much the goal with Tony Stark here. Now we're going to moveset of Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Superpower, and Knockoff. Bullet Punch is there because my opponent has a Cradilly, and I have really not too much else to hit it with. And I like Bullet Punch because it's priority, and I can come in on something and quickly knock it off. And if it's down at a low HP, I can come in with this thing, click Bullet Punch, kill it off, and move on to the next one. We have the U-Turn here. It'll also hit the Cradilly, but it will hit the Crocodile just as hard. And a stab U-Turn from an Adamant Mega Scizor is going to do a lot of damage. We have Superpower, which is also going to hit the Crocodile. You see how much I worry about the Crocodile? Superpower will hit the Crocodile very hard. It'll also absolutely blow Blissey out of the water. Absolutely blow Blissey away. And I like the sound of blowing away a Blissey. Even if it's max physical defense, max HP, Superpower does 80 to 95%. So that's no prior damage at all. If I can get up, which I think I actually brought entry hazards this week out, and we'll find out in a few seconds. It's been a while since I built this team. But if there's any prior damage on it, superpower kills. If there's no prior damage on it, superpower will actually still blow it out of the water, and the only thing it can really do to us is like what? Seismic toss? Big fucking deal. Not a huge deal to me, not too worried about seismic tossing. I'm not scared of the Blissey, and if I don't kill, then I have Bullet Punch, and Bullet Punch can just pick it off the next turn. Bullet Punch, even at -1, will still do 20% minimum, so I would be guaranteed to take it out. So that's really, really nice. So that's going to be our Mega Scissor. That's the whole purpose between those three moves of my Mega Scissor. Also, and Knockoff is there because of the Jirachi, but I want it there for utility purposes also. If I can, if I can predict a switch, I can get an item knocked off, maybe Black Sludge off of Weezing, Leftovers, or AV off of Hitmontop. What are the things we're switching to this thing? A knockoff a Scarf on Typhlosion, which would be really, really nice. Potentially knock off a Life Orb from Feraligatr. You know, so many different options. Just being able to click knockoff is really, really nice, really, really safe against my opponent, and I really like the sound of that. The next mon is not carrying Stealth Rock, so we're not bringing entry hazards this week, as you can see. But we do have Optimus Prime, the Golurk, rocking the Leftovers with the Iron Fist ability. Now, not necessarily a bulky set, but still pretty bulky. 96 into HP, 40 into defense. 120 in speed, and max attack with an adamant nature. Now, I feel like I made this set in a very specific way. I'm trying to determine what that was. Looking at this team, why did I put these specific EVs the way they are? What was I protecting myself from? Maybe it was Mega Gallade. Let me put my set in and let's see why these EVs are the way they are. 40, 120. First of all, with that 120 speed EVs, I speed tie with the Hitmontop. I don't like that, but I'd rather I don't necessarily like speed tying, but I'd rather speed tie than you know, be outsped. So that's the whole thought process there. I feel like this is for Mega Gallade. I feel really confident this is for Mega Gallade. No, it really isn't. Crocodile. If his Crocodile is scarfed. No, that's not really for his Crocodile. Why did I put these IVs in here this way? Huh. Is it for Feraligatr? Is it for Feraligatr? No, because these EVs wouldn't allow me to live a waterfall. No, yeah, I wouldn't live a waterfall with these EVs. Be totally honest with you, I have no idea why this spread is built the way it is. But fuck it, we're gonna go with it. Because I really don't know what else to do with it. All I knew is I wanted max attack and I wanted outspeed or speed tie with Hitmontop. I guess speed tie with Hitmontop. Really don't know why these EVs are like that. I don't know. I feel like there was a specific reason, but I just can't remember it, to be honest. But you know, we're gonna go with it. Was it for Hitmontop? Was it for Hitmontop? No. Yeah, I just don't understand. But you know, we're gonna go with it. So with that spread, I guess it'll give us a little extra bulk, which is really, really nice to have with Golurk. Earthquake is there for the Jirachi and the Typhlosion. Now the Typhlosion, I guess, can't do too much to us. But if we can hit that thing with an Earthquake, it'd be really, really nice. We have the Thunder Punch for Alligator and the Frogadier. The Feraligatr and the Frogadier aren't going to appreciate a Thunder Punch. And the Ice Punch is for the Crocodile, also for the Rotom Fan, and that's about it. Yeah, and the Cradily. Cradily isn't going to appreciate an Ice Punch. And then Shadow Punch is there for the Mega Gallade. I guess this spread is there to help us live some hits from Mega Gallade. I don't know. We don't live anything specifically from Mega Gallade that, like, we couldn't live without this spread. So, I don't know what I was thinking when I built this. Then again, I built this, like, weeks ago, so whatever. Not really too big of a deal. I think this spread will work just fine against my opponent's team. And the Shadow Punch will probably actually, now that I think about it, let me put that in there. Let me just make sure. Shadow Punch with the Iron Fist ability against a Mega Gallade. Oh my, I just noticed too. If I had no attack EVs on my Golurk, I would still have a chance to OHKO, and if he brings Adamant Hitmontop, I would have a good chance. I would have a chance to OHKO it without attack EVs. If I have attack EVs, I OHKO it. So that's kind of cool. If he brings an Adamant one, we can OHKO it. Mega Gallade. The Shadow Punch has a good chance to OHKO the Mega Gallade, so that's kind of nice. I like this set. I actually do kind of like this set. I'm really happy about this Golurk set. I probably built this team at like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's probably why this spread's like this, but not a big deal. I like this spread, so we're going to go with it. Last but not least, we have Old Faithful, our Assault Vested Volcanion. Now, this spread is built the way it is for several reasons. A, Assault Vest Volcanion is too good. I can't not do it. There's other options I could run, but it's just not all of them are very viable. Okay? 216 HP is there, so that we have that extra bulk, and it's an odd number for Stealth Rock switch-ins. Max special attack with a modest nature is pretty much staple for Volcanion, because Volcanion is one of the best special attackers, in my opinion, in the game, even though it's not technically in the game yet. Lastly, we have 36 speed EVs, which allows us to outspeed a minimum speed Seismitoad without a speed lowering nature. So he has to run speed EVs to outspeed us, and if not, HP Grass is going to absolutely OHKO it. We are also packing Steam Eruption. Steam Eruption I brought not so much because my opponent has, you know, things that can take it, but for the burn. I brought it for the burn. I mean, you know, he has a Typhlosion that's not going to like it, he has a Crocodile that's not going to like it, but nothing on his team really wants to get burned. The only thing on his team that actually switches in to a Steam Eruption, technically, is his Cradily, because it gets Storm Drain. But, again, A, I have Focus Blast, B, I have Flamethrower, and C, I'm Assault Vested. Which means, even if he does get a Storm Drain boost off of my Steam Eruption, if I play a little carelessly at one point, I can Focus Blast the living hell out of the Cradily the following turn. So, that's not really too big of an issue. I'm not really worried about it. So, we're just going to go with it. The Focus Blast is there, obviously, for the Cradily, as I just said. And that's pretty much that. Not too much else to really say here. Really just kind of winging it with this set. This week's going to be not too difficult of a week. I feel like his team is really, really good. But at the same time, we have a good chance of defeating a lot of what my opponent can do. I just feel like my opponent can't do too much to us. You know what I mean? And I feel like he can't beat us 1v1. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, I am PokePrimer. Signing